Perhaps that's enough. Jesus, pretty clear. And yet we have St. Monica with us, who in her patience and perseverance and prayer continued to witness to Augustine, whose life may have been more describable by some of the criticisms of Jesus against the Pharisees before his conversion. And so we know that Monica was a person who had been very conscious of the way transformation in Jesus Christ works, and that Augustine must have known that the joy and the trust that she had in Jesus was coming from a deep source from within. It wasn't surface level. It wasn't based upon simply just doing the right things, but she had somehow communicated, it seems, to him that it was doing the right things for the right reason. Not just this outward show, which I think Jesus obviously is criticizing anybody that might get stuck there. And please, Lord, if I'm acting like a hypocrite, call me that, name me such, so that I can then open myself to the growth and the depth that I need, and help me to be aware of that, even though it might initially be offensive to be called that. But if it's Jesus that's calling you that, it's worth listening. And I sense that maybe there were times, maybe even in Monica's own life, that she had to learn that too, in some ways, of saying, okay, it's not just enough to do the outward. Where is that inner transformation that is what Jesus invites us all to? And so that then we can see how it then germinates, I guess, in some ways like a rooted plant in the proper nourishment, receiving the rain and everything, so that it can then grow and flower. We know what happens when that process is obstructed in some ways. So we can use all sorts of different images, and yet I sense the same invitation is there for us to trust Jesus as he invites us to that depth and that inner transformation that then can be expressed by doing the right things, by the fruits of our love, as we know that was the case, as we hear in our opening prayer, with both Monica and Augustine, who had the example that he needed to get over the negative or the sinful behaviors that he was engaged in prior to his conversion, and probably sometimes too even after, but learning where to turn then in growth, and in providing us now with the opportunity to see where we could place our efforts, redouble our efforts, and asking God to help show us, to continue to help us see where we need him, so that we can invite him more deeply to that inner transformation that leads us to live a life committed to Jesus.